guys, welcome to an episode of Beach Fishing Tips for Beginners in 2020. This video is just to sort of get you started on what sort of gear you need and just to sort of set you in the right direction really. So for my advice would be you need a pair of pliers, a pair of scissors, you need some hooks, you need some trace line, you need some bait cotton, you need some main line, you need some shock leader, you can do with a set of scales, hook sharpener, bait rig storage devices. You may need a fixed spool, reel, need a fish knife, a multiplier reel, rods. There's a whole host of things you're going to need. So my advice would be is don't go crazy with buying a top of the range rod. You can get a good rod for like 60-70 quid. There's a good brand Sonic, I think Vader rods. They're reasonable, anything from like 13 foot. You can buy the longer ones up to 16 foot, but about 13 foot would be fine. You just need to sort of get the stuff together and start out, and don't expect too much straight away. It takes a lot of trips and a lot of you just sort of have to learn it as you go really. These rods here, they're one is rigged for a multiplier, one is obviously rigged for fixed spool. I think that's a 6,000. 8,000 is a good size. That's £30 main line there. I generally use about £15 for surf casting. Nice tripod there. Obviously you can pick up some scrappy fish like these dogfish here. Hook size is some sand eels. Sand eels caught fresh off the beach. I've got some mackerel. I've got some whole squid. I've got some cuttlefish. Try and get a thornback ray. I've also got some frozen lugworm, all already with hooks on and traces inside this flask. There's 8 in there, and I'll show you how that goes on later on. Got my live bait rig here as well. If I get some whiting, I can just clip this. I'll show you how that goes as well later on. Yeah, my advice would be just to buy one rod and reel for a start. Maybe a fixed spool. Yeah, so ebb tide's pulling this way. It's getting towards the bottom of the tide, but it's still hossing down, even close in. It's really roaring across here. So we're looking for slack water, and as the tide starts coming this way. Okay. Yeah, the frozen lugworm and the live bait rig I'll leave to another episode, I think, because it's a little bit, it's a bit more advanced, that sort of stuff. Cod bait, squid, Californian. Yeah, I would start off by using smaller hooks, anything from like size 4, 6 to size 1 to 1.0 when you start beach fishing as a beginner, because you'll pick off a lot more smaller fish like that, like flatfish and lots of other sort of round species. My advice would be to collect or dig your own bait. It's a lot cheaper that way. Yeah, always check the weather forecast before you go, and my advice would be to invest in a good beach brolly. Yeah, a lead lift helps to lift that lead out the bottom and over snags on the beaches. Yeah, you can check out the knots I use on my YouTube channel, and that will detail how to tie those knots for this rig. Yeah, a tripod or a single rod rest is vital just to position your rod. It's just something you do right at the beginning. At the end of your session, it's good practice just to rinse your gear with fresh water just to get all the salt off, because that will eventually sort of corrode your gear. And likewise with any hooks, just dip them in fresh water at the end. Yeah, for casting, guys, do you want to just look at my casting video for beginners on the YouTube? That'll explain everything on that. Not only is a pair of pliers good for removing hooks from gut-hooked fish like this whiting, it's also good for tying shock leader knots as well, and tying on your hook lengths. Yeah, heavier line is a lot better when you're fishing in snaggy areas. If you do go into a snag, you've got a good chance of pulling it out. This is 30-pound line I'm using here. If you're fishing with like 12 or 15, when you go into a snag, there's a good chance that you'll lose your gear. If you use heavier line, you've got a better chance of removing it.
That's it. There he goes. Bang!
Yeah, the smaller size Aberdeen hooks are generally good for using lugworm baits. Very effective. Yeah, you're going to need what they call a finger stall, or some sort of a glove when you're casting a fixed spool reel, just to protect your finger. You can use a bit of tape if you forget it, but yeah, they cost about £5, but you're going to need it if you're going to be using a fixed spool. Yeah, when you're retrieving your multiplier reel here, you just need to guide. Very often don't come with a level wind, which guides on your line, so you have to guide on with your thumbs. If you notice from this video, you can see my thumb is sort of going from left to right. Just guide it on, and what that does, if you don't do that, that will mess up the cast, get like a bird's nest. So it just lays it evenly on your spool there. If you do get any of your lines sort of mixed up and crossed over and fluffed up, it's best just to sort of peel all that line off and get it nice and smooth, but lay on there again for your next cast. Yeah, shock leader 40, 50 or 60 pounds is okay, and 50 is perfectly acceptable. And yeah, it's just when you cast, make sure you wrap your shock leader around your multiplier spool there, maybe sort of 5 times.
It's got hooked. Yeah, so just do.
I can't emphasise the importance of having your hook point exposed when you present a bait. Vital. Yeah, you're going to want to invest in a good lantern for night fishing to avoid any line crossovers, so you can see what you're doing. That's if you want to fish at night.
Mr. Whiting, can I have my hook back, please? Let's put him back.
Yeah, I just thought I'd mention a bit about leads. 5, 6, 7 ounce leads are generally what are used. 6 ounce is a good start point. You just buy them from the local tackle shop. You can make your own, but I wouldn't bother. They're cheap enough. And yeah, 5 or 6 ounces is good. Just depending what rating on the rod, what you've got. But yeah, this sort of tackle shop is where you can pick them up.
Throw a big squid, I think, to be brutally honest, but that's what they had for sale. So there's the hooks exposed.
Yeah, night fishing I would leave alone until you've got enough experience under your belt. Maybe after quite a few trips. It's a lot more difficult at night, and it's a lot simpler to to go about learning the business during the day. It's a lot easier, a lot less stressful. You can get better rewards at night, but my advice would be is just, if you're starting out, just focus on during the day fishing. Yeah, try and do your research on how beaches fish. If you get the timing wrong, it's a very tidal area, you can get hammered by a lot of weed. Just a useful tip, when it's flat calm, you don't get a lot of natural undertone, and the weed doesn't get washed up on the beach. So you find that there'll be a lot of loose weed out in the bay. If there's quite a chop there, that's actually better for weed.
Bit of cuttlefish, a bit of frozen lug. So for me, you want to be fishing straight lugworm all the time, and keep pinging it out, and make sure you got enough, and that way you got.
Yeah, you want to invest in a good thermal suit and hat as well. Wintertime beach fishing can be extremely cold. You want the warm weather gear to keep you on the beach. You don't want to get so cold that it sort of ruins your session. You go home early. So a good kit is what you need.
This is that and the other. You really got to have your game together. Now the other side like that.
Yeah, to attach your hook length to the shock leader, that knot you can see on my YouTube channel under knots. and it's quite a straightforward knot to use, and it's super strong.
Soft. You want to cast it out, you need to put a bit of cotton around it.
Yeah, if you're thinking about fishing at night, a fixed spool is a lot easier reel to cast at night than a multiplier. Yeah, you notice I'm not wearing a head torch here. That is a good investment. I do have one. I just happened to forget it at this time. Obviously, a lantern as well is a necessity when you're at night. My advice, if you're not used to it, go with somebody else. But it's a lot harder to do night fishing. Yeah, there's lots to take in here, guys. But keep plugging away at it, and that will come. But it's not easy, and it will just take lots of trips, but very enjoyable.
That's all I can say. At least I didn't blank.
Yeah, thanks for watching the video, guys. Hope it was useful. Please subscribe to my channel, and there'll be more episodes on their way. See you later.